Kim, what is our fourth main topic today?
All right, this is coming from Corey Fauss. Greetings, John and Kim and Ray. I was watching your show and a viewer mentioned that Sony Sources contradicted Amy Pascal's statements about there being another Spider-Man trilogy with Marvel. You said you hadn't heard that, but I can confirm it's true. The Hollywood Reporter is saying their Sony sources have denied any plans for a new set of Spider-Man films yet. So is Pascal just talking crazy, or was she really expressing what she'd like to see happen? What do you think?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. So yes, this was interesting. So yesterday, of course, we talked about these comments that Amy Pascal has made. Now, Amy Pascal, who is a brilliant film executive, does not get the credit she deserves. Part of the reason she doesn't often get the credit she deserves is because her strength isn't in doing interviews. And she has been criticized over the years a bit as coming across as a little bit crazy during her interviews. And she's not crazy. She's actually a brilliant film executive, but a lot of people have been very sour on her just because she tends to say some crazy things in interviews over the years. But that changed because yesterday she said something that people wanted to hear. She said something that people wanted to hear. It's funny how when somebody's saying something you don't want to hear, they're just crazy. When they're saying something you want to hear, they're brilliant, right? Well, anyway. So yesterday we talked on the show about these comments that Amy Pascal made. And everybody loved it. And I thought it was fascinating. When she said, number one, let's be clear. She did not say that they were going to do, everybody's misreporting this. Because everybody's reporting it as she was saying they were doing a new trilogy of Spider-Man films with Marvel. She didn't actually say that. She said, we're going to do 3 more films of Spider-Man. The next one we're doing will be with Tom and Marvel. Now, that could have meant she could have meant all 3, but that's not what she said. Everybody also wanted to glance over the part where she had to catch herself from revealing something significant, where she said, yeah, we're going to do another one. It's just not going to be a part of... And then she caught herself, probably saw Kevin Feige's sniper red dot on her thing there and realized, okay, I got to stop and go on and start talking about something else. Now, after we talked about that, somebody wrote in live on the show and said, John, did you hear that Sony is denying this? And I said on the show, I had not heard that. I don't know if that's true, blah, blah, blah. Well, apparently it is, because the Hollywood Reporter had their Sony sources tell them, no, there's nothing officially planned at this point. That's just not true. I spoke to somebody from Sony yesterday who simply said to me, I have no idea what she's talking about. Now, this person that I spoke to isn't exactly the president of distribution at Sony. So maybe there was something there and just the person I spoke to briefly didn't know anything. I mean, that doesn't mean it wasn't true. I'm saying the one person I spoke to said, I have no idea what she's talking about. But this is what got kind of revealed. This comes to us from the folks over at Inside the Magic who write this. Every Marvel fan is on cloud 9 with Spider-Man No Way Home 2021 nearly in theaters. With news from producer Amy Pascal that a new Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy is reportedly in the works, the Marvel community exploded with excitement. But a Sony insider, actually there were multiple of them, just shared with the Hollywood Reporter that Sony and Marvel aren't quite ready for 3 more Spider-Man movies. Sony insiders note, though, the studio has a strong relationship with Tom Holland and Kevin Feige and hopes to continue their collaboration, but there are no official plans for a trilogy at this phase. There are no plans for a trilogy at this phase. Now, there are a couple of ways to look at this. One way of looking at it, one legitimate way of looking at it, is just saying, well, yeah, nothing's official yet. I mean, that's all it was saying. All it was saying is that, hey, it's not official yet, right? And that's legit. That is a legit way to look at it. It completely is. However, I don't know that Sony would feel the need to let something get out there to quantify that if it was just a matter of, hey, nothing's official yet. Another way of looking at this is exactly, what was the name of the person who sent it in again? Let me just bring that up. Corey. One of the interesting things that Corey says, so is Pascal, maybe Pascal is just trying to do, what's the name of that book where you speak something into existence that everybody loves?
The Secret?
The Secret. Maybe.
Manifest it, girl. Manifest.
Maybe, yes, maybe what we have here is Amy Pascal trying to secret this thing. It's like she's just going to speak it into existence. Oh, yeah, we want to do this. And blah. I mean, maybe that's legitimate, too, especially when you look at past interviews with Amy Pascal and things she has said and things like that. I mean, that's possible, too. Because we all remember, too, back when Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal were doing interviews together, and Amy Pascal would say things, and Kevin Feige would literally look at her like she was crazy and then contradict her right in the middle of the interviews. Like, we all remember that from years ago, right?
So embarrassing.
And again, but look at this team. Look at this team. The fact of the matter is, together they have made some wonderful movies. I adore Homecoming and Far From Home. We'll see how No Way Home is. But I adore those first two movies. They have been a fantastic team. They've made some really good, entertaining movies. They've had to compromise with each other, which I think have made better movies, and all that kind of stuff. But it sounds like a lot of stuff is still very... Like, I already thought that Amy Pascal's comments were very interpretive. Like, even when we just read her comments, I'm like, look, guys, everybody's jumping to a conclusion about these comments, but if you actually look at what she said, there's still some ambiguity here. Well, now with Sony talking to the Hollywood Reporter and saying, look, we have a great relationship with Tom Holland. We have a great relationship with Kevin Feige, but there ain't no plans at this point. It raises a lot of questions. Look, ultimately, none of us know what the actual future is. Are they going to up their deal? As of right now, there is no new deal. As of this moment, as far as we know, the existing deal is still it. They're going to do Spider-Man No Way Home. That's the last film on the deal between Sony and Marvel, and then one more appearance as Tom Holland in another MCU film. Right now, that's the only official deal that exists. What happens after that? Is there no more Tom Holland Spider-Man? Does he go back over to Sony that I thought for a long time he was going to do? Do they re-up the deal and keep him in Marvel? Do they do a hybrid deal, which makes Kevin Feige's statements before make sense when Kevin Feige said Spider-Man is going to be the only superhero that can travel back and forth between cinematic universes? Was that Kevin Feige telling us a long time ago that there's going to be a new deal, but this time we're going to have Tom Holland Spider-Man who will do movies in different... First new movie is going to be in the Sonyverse. The second new movie, he's going to travel back into the MCU, do a movie there. And then in the third movie, he's going to travel back. I mean, I don't know. There's still a lot of stuff up here in question. But it just goes to show again that we take these comments and we get very excited when it's a comment we want to hear. I do this all the time. Everybody does that. Like, I might think a certain hockey player is crazy, but if he says something that I really like, then I'm like, oh yes, take what he says very seriously. I do that too. I mean, we all do it. I don't know. Kim, you hear you heard what Amy said.
Yeah.
By the way, I've met Amy. Delightful person. I mean, she does come across a little bit crazy in interviews, but I mean, she not at all. In person, no, she just comes across as a really, really nice person. I really enjoyed talking to her. But you heard what Amy said. You've heard what the Hollywood Reporter is now saying. As a fan sitting there just taking all this in, where's your head at right now? What do you think's going on?
You know, I don't think people are being misleading. I mean, Hollywood is a town full of meetings, and more meetings. And so many things could be discussed. Everyone can sit in the same meeting and some people can walk away with different interpretations of what happened. And unless it's something that's very official and then you agree as a team or company to make a comment on it, because that's another huge part of our industry is that we're going to make a statement, right? We make official statements. The fans are waiting for official statements. I think you cannot think either way until someone makes an official statement. Because she could just be talking about something that, she was dreaming up and wouldn't it be great? And you go into an interview and you kind of try to put that manifestation out in the universe and see if it'll take. But what I'm interested in always is here's our official statement. Here's an official statement. And again, Tom Hanks,
That's another movie.
That's another movie. Tom Holland's made some interesting statements. Although they're not official, he's talking about things that he wants to do in his own career and dreams that he has for his own life that we're all interpreting in different ways. But we don't yet know what's locked and sealed in ink. So I think sometimes we mistake someone maybe just talking about what they want to do, what they'd love to do, what they'd like to see. And depending on how much we want to see that too, we can manipulate that. So I'm always waiting for official statement. We've got 3 more movies. Official statement by Tom Holland. Thank you for your years of service. You know, that's when I'll get emotional about it. Unless I think it's Mephisto. And then I'll just run. I'll just run
More Mephisto.
with the crowd. I don't know why I'm running. We're just running together.
But here's the thing too, right? Today's December 1st. By the way, where the hell did
Oh
November
my
go?
gosh.
Where did November go? I feel like we just blinked and November had just started and all of a sudden it's December. But anyway, we are December
fast.
1st now.
Wow.
Tomorrow will be 2 weeks until we have our private screening of Spider-Man No Way Home. Just 2 weeks from tomorrow. Thank you to everybody who entered the...
I was going to say, how are the videos coming?
we got a shit ton of them in.
I want to meet you guys. Hey.
We got a lot of videos in because we're giving away some spots in our private screening of Spider-Man No Way Home on Thursday. Not tomorrow Thursday, but 2 Thursdays from tomorrow. So tomorrow marks 2 weeks until this movie comes out. We are all, like, regardless of what the Hollywood Reporter says or Amy Pascal says or Tom Holland says about I'm 30, whatever, we are actually going to have a much better idea in 2 weeks. 2 weeks plus a day. In 2 weeks plus a day, we're going to have a much better idea. I think this movie is going to happen, and then it's going to end. And with the ending of that movie, some things I've seen.
Oh.
That I kind of wish I hadn't seen. But that's a story for another day. When this movie happens and it ends, at that ending, we are all going to have a much clearer picture about where we think everything's going to be going. A much clearer picture. So we can continue to speculate, banty all this about for a couple more weeks, and it's fun to do so, but we'll get some solid answers in 2 weeks. I think all we have to wait is a couple more weeks, and we're going to have some really solid answers. Anyway, guys, question is for you. You're hearing about this, and you're like, you know what? I'm just not going to pay attention to any of this anymore until we get some actual solid answers. Like Kim was saying, an official statement. Or maybe you are already convinced about what's happening. Maybe you're still uncertain. Whatever you guys are thinking right now, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.